Remember Google? Remember the company that had as its motto, "Don't be evil"? Remember the company that has a global monopoly on advertising to search engine results? A monopoly, by the way, that should be challenged. And it's fascinating that Google has managed to keep that issue from public discussion. So I'm raising it here. Google's monopoly, it should be challenged. And here's one of the many reasons why it should be challenged. Google is the owner of YouTube. And YouTube is turning out to be the most important source of news for everybody, young and old. And this is quite disturbing to companies like Fox and MSNBC and CNN. And they have done a deal with Google YouTube to suppress news outlets of many stripes, like Consortium News, like Abby Martin, like Jimmy Dore, and Brasscheck, and a whole bunch of others, in favor of promoting the products of CNN, MSNBC, ABC, etc. The reason they're doing that is they're being paid to do it by the networks. The networks live and die by how many people watch their product. And as people, more and more people are discovering, I know everybody on this list has known for years, decades in some cases, that network news is completely unreliable. It's a joke. It's a propaganda fest at best. But you guys are the vanguard. Now, the so-called average person is starting to understand this too. And the younger generation, the millennials that so many people like to disparage, one of the most ripped off generations in history, by the way. Little sidebar, 40 years ago, you could pay your way through college. You could work your way through college. College was so cheap. You could write a check to pay your doctor. You could rent an apartment, a decent place, maybe not a great place, but a decent place for, something like a quarter of your income. None of these things are possible to the millennial generation. So the idea that they're flakes and losers, I think, is a smokescreen. What's more true is they have been, they're getting a really bad economic deal. Everything that matters, the big ticket items in life, education, healthcare, and housing, are exponentially more expensive than they were when some of us were growing up. And it was hard enough for us to grow up. Things were expensive then, but it's much, much worse now. But anyway, that generation, the millennial generation, realizes they're being screwed, realizes they're being lied to, and they're tuning out of the mass media in epic droves. So anyway, YouTube, Google has taken money to suppress independent reporting on the YouTube platform in place of ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and so on. But they're doing something else that they just added, and that is the subject of this particular call. We posted something, back in 2012 about an expert witness to the Kennedy assassination who ended up being killed violently under as yet unexplained circumstances. Right? Very useful video. YouTube says it's been viewed 118,563 times. I know they always undercount, so it could be, is probably more than that. It might be multiples of that. Had they given this any of the natural algorithmic push that it gives ridiculous videos like, dancing dogs and singing cats, this video could have gotten to 1 million. And I know that because in the old days, before YouTube got a handle on their censorship mechanisms, we had several million-plus videos. In fact, we have one video, the 9/11 solution, that has been viewed over 10 million times. It's been uploaded to many different times, and every time it does, it gets viewed by the hundreds of thousands. One intrepid uploader uploaded it to YouTube Canada, where it was viewed over 5 million times. All right, so we know that people are very interested in this stuff. They're very receptive, and it's being suppressed. But anyway, the point of this call, there is a point to it. So we posted this in 2012, and it's called Expert Witness to the Kennedy Assassination, and it is an interview with I believe he was a sheriff or detective, Dallas police detective, who was there and saw the whole thing go down and wasn't buying the story. And he was punished by his superiors, and strange things started happening to him, like bullets whizzing by his ear. And then one day he ended up dead. And again, nobody really knows how it happened. It was by a gunshot wound. But anyway, we posted that video, very popular. It's a very important part of the JF Kennedy assassination story. Now here's the punchline. It's not enough that Google, Facebook, well, on Facebook too, but Google, YouTube is promoting CNN and all the other crap news outlets. It's not enough that they're suppressing alternative news. Now they are making commentaries right on the pages where people post things. So, for example, this page, Expert Witness to the Kennedy Assassination, Google, YouTube has very helpfully, and I'm being sarcastic, posted the official story about the Kennedy assassination straight from the Encyclopedia Britannica right underneath the video. And let me read it. Assassination of John F. Kennedy, mortal shooting of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, as he rode in a motorcade in Dallas, blah, blah, blah. His accused killer was Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah, we know he's the accused killer. A former U.S. Marine who had embraced Marxism and defected for a time to the Soviet Union. Oswald never stood trial for murder because while being transferred after having been taken into custody, he was shot and killed by Jack Ruby, a distraught Dallas nightclub owner. Almost from the beginning, the killing of the popular young president was thought by many Americans to have been the result of a conspiracy rather than the act of an individual, despite the findings to the contrary by the Warren Commission, which was established by Kennedy's successor. The incident remained the subject of widespread speculation. So this comes from the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's updated by a fellow named Jeff Wallenfelt. Not sure who he is. He's the manager of geography and history for Encyclopedia Britannica. God bless him. And he is spouting the official line. And he's leaving a lot of things out. So was Lee Harvey Oswald a U.S. Marine? Yes. Did he embrace Marxism? He gave the appearance of embracing Marxism. That's known. He also gave the appearance of rejecting Marxism. He was playing both sides of the street. That's well known, well documented. Did he defect to the Soviet Union? Yes, he did. What's not included in this little thumbnail official story is that somehow the U.S. government was okay with that defection, and when he wanted to come back, they were okay with letting him back. No problem there. He was never even debriefed about what he did over there. He was, all's forgiven, welcome back. That's a strange part of the story. We also don't know. We're also not told about Lee Harvey Oswald's other associations with the FBI, with the CIA, with naval intelligence, with a number of wacko right-wing and white supremacist groups, with anti-Castro Cubans. He had a lot of affiliations. He was a little bit more than just a guy who was in the Marines, went to Russia, espoused Marxism, and worked in a book depository. So that's left out of this official story. And then when we try to understand, okay, well, how did the case settle? Well, the case settled with Oswald being killed, as we all know. And how did that happen? Oh, he was a distraught nightclub owner, Jack Ruby. Nowhere in this official account is the plain fact that Jack Ruby was a very, very important cog in the mafia wheel in Dallas. He was affiliated closely and for a long time with the Chicago mob. He actually worked for Richard Nixon years earlier, helping Nixon in his California campaign. Jack Ruby knew Lee Harvey Oswald and was seen with him on many occasions. So all that's left out of the official story. So what's my point here? My point is, even, we've got this platform, YouTube, but if you dare put up a video that casts any doubt on the official story, the YouTube mind control police will stamp it with something official from the Encyclopedia Britannica that gives the official history, and gently ridicules the idea that something else happened. Thought by many to be the result of a conspiracy, despite the findings to the contrary by the Warren Commission. And the Warren Commission, of course, was a well-known and is a well-known joke. So anyway, that's what's going on. We do have this platform, YouTube. We do use it. We do get the word out, but they're ever seeking new ways to tighten the screws. And this is just a small one, but it shows what we're up against. Anyway, that's the Brass Check Report. If you haven't seen the video, I recommend you watch it. It's pretty eye-opening, and you can look at it below.